Dr. Ferrial Adam from WaterCAN. She's the Executive Manager. Good evening, Doctor, and thank you very much for your time this evening. So there are those who are saying the extensive maintenance is a step in the right direction, even though it's long overdue. Just talk us through the significance of this maintenance and what it entails exactly.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. I think we've been talking about having maintenance because there's been a backlog for over 10 years. And we've been saying that in order for us to ensure that we don't have what we've been having, burst pipes, low flows in reservoirs, and all of the challenges we have both at Rand Water and Joburg Water, we need to have more maintenance to make sure the infrastructure is working well.
Now, though many have commended the move, it's opened up the broader conversation, I'm sure you've seen, on the infrastructure and infrastructure problems, but particularly the inadequate budget allocation to maintenance. Just your views on the constant budget allocations that seem to be inadequate.
So there's two levels. Rand Water, which reports to national government, has a particular budget that they use on maintenance. And that has been somewhat okay, but not always great. Joburg Water, for example, at the municipal level is where the allocation of budget to maintenance has been very poor. And, so Joburg, for example, is one of those. So if you don't spend the required amount on maintaining your infrastructure, what you have then is what we're seeing now, where there's not an area in Joburg that you won't get a burst pipe or leaks, or reservoirs are running low, pump stations are a problem. So it kind of has that whole effect. But I'm glad that this has now come to light, and there's more focus on infrastructure and maintaining our infrastructure.
But what was this attributed to? Was it a revenue issue, or perhaps lack of foresight to say you need to prioritize maintenance by ensuring that most of your revenue is going to maintenance?
You mean the particular maintenance we have right now?
Yes, I'm saying before that, when we were seeing inadequate allocation of the budget to maintenance, was it because there was not enough funds? Or here we had perhaps a situation where there was not enough people with the requisite skills to inform some sort of a plan where you decide to apportion a significant amount of your funds to maintenance?
So what we're seeing now is actually a result of 10 years of state capture in the Department of Water and Sanitation. So you had National Department, and Rand Water reports directly to the National Department. We've been told that they did have plans, but for 10 years, things weren't going as planned. So that was the challenge. But Rand Water has, even within that, been really good about doing their maintenance and doing, the fixing infrastructure. At a local government level, this is the challenge. A lot of the city's revenue comes from water. So we as residents, you pay for your water usage. There's a lot of money that comes from that to the municipality. And I'll just take City of Joburg, for example. I think they get about 12 billion rand from revenue for water itself. That money is then used for other aspects. So it's not just used on water. A lot of it, I think Joburg Water then gets 1 billion rand of that, of the 12 billion. The rest of it goes to obviously things that we need, like clinics, health, roads. But when we look at the City of Joburg and we look at the services we've been getting, what have they been doing? Our roads are a problem, our clinics are a problem. So what we're saying is that Treasury, and this can only be done at a national level, needs to ring fence the revenue that we're getting from water so that we can spend more on infrastructure. And you've raised an important point as well, is getting the skilled people in the positions to actually do the work.
But to top it off, we're also losing revenue due to leaks.
Yes, we are losing, it's estimated we're losing billions through leaks, because if we look at City of Joburg, we lose 25% of our water just through leaks. But we lose 44% of our water, which is counted as non-revenue water.
Yes.
So it's 44% you're getting no funding. So either you're not billing for it, or it's being stolen, and then the rest is going through to leaks.
Sure.
25%. And the city of Joburg's not the only one in the country that's going through this. eThekwini is the same across the country. People are challenged with dealing with leaks and non-revenue water across the country. Mfuleni has a ridiculous amount of 70% being lost through non-revenue water.
My goodness. I mean, is there some sort of will to address this? Because 44%, if it's Johannesburg, and then you speak of Mfuleni 70%, this is a conversation we've had a number of times, even on this show, when we talk about whether we're losing it through leaks or illegal connections, as you say, basically all that falls under non-revenue water. I mean, does it seem as though they want to resolve this issue? Or there's perhaps no capacity to even deal with this matter?
I think what is good, well, it's good and bad. So at a local government level, I'm struggling to see that political will to actually fix things. And if you take City of Joburg, where we've changed 5 mayors in 2 years or something like that, it doesn't create a stability or consistency to deal with issues. So that's why service delivery then directly is affected. At a national level, there's been a fantastic kind of development around this. The Department of Water and Sanitation, under the leadership of Minister Mkhunu and his DG, have established something called a water security platform. And that is for Gauteng. So they're bringing in Gauteng, it's going to be the municipalities, the water providers, and it's going to bring in business and civil society. And all of these people are basically in a war room to tackle specifically non-revenue water. So I think that is the kind of direction we need, where there's urgency and we need to deal with it in a war room situation and just focus on that.
Well, certainly many would welcome that, because at the very least, once they've dealt with it there, all that revenue can go back to more maintenance, which is the funds that we need to maintain. But I suppose at this point now, at least something has started. For the next 37 days, we'll be struggling with water pressure, but I suppose it's for a good cause. I mean, we'll have the short-term pain for long-term gain. Doctor, thank you very much for your time this evening.